Tonight on SRU Nightly News, Elizabeth Ford High School is hit with a devastating fire.
Pittsburgh food banks are looking to help more families in need.
And a new food option pops up at Grove City College. All this and more on SRU Nightly News. Welcome to SRU Nightly News. I'm Brandon Pierce.
And I'm Bex Preneta.
Emergency crews responded to a fire at Elizabeth Ford High School on the morning of Sunday, February 12th. The local fire department had to send out calls for additional help twice more, once at 8 a.m. and once at 9:15. Officials say that the fire was contained to the auditorium, and in an email to parents, Superintendent Keith Kyonk stated that no in-person or virtual classes would take place on Monday. Virtual classes started on Tuesday. According to school officials, it will take time to assess the damage and determine when in-person classes could resume.
Police have identified David Smith as the driver of the vehicle that crashed into the Butler Eden Park on January 6, 2023. According to state troopers, 56-year-old Smith was found to be driving with a suspended or revoked license at the time of the crash. He has been charged with driving under the influence of a controlled substance. Along with the DUI charge, Smith will also face charges for reckless and careless driving.
A Butler County woman is facing one charge of criminal homicide for the shooting death of her boyfriend. The police responded to a call late Saturday night from Brandywine Drive in Cranberry. 26-year-old Amanda Hughes told the officials that she had shot her boyfriend, 30-year-old Anthony Smith. According to the police, Smith suffered multiple gunshot wounds and had to be flown to Allegheny Hospital. He was pronounced dead at 1:49 upon arrival. According to Hughes, she shot Smith during an altercation in self-defense. After the shooting, Hughes sought help from one of her neighbors. Lieutenant Chuck Masculino when questioned about Hughes' claim of self-defense, said, quote, "Physical evidence seems to contradict those statements." Hughes was arraigned Sunday morning and is now in Butler County Jail.
In 2020, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, many households received emergency SNAP benefits, which offered help with purchasing groceries. With the benefits, families were given 2 payments of SNAP benefits a month for grocery shopping. Starting March 1st, however, families will only receive 1 monthly payment. Pittsburgh food banks are preparing to help more families than they've had to over the course of the last 3 years. Losing those benefits during winter will lead to some families having to worry about heating their homes as well as putting food on their tables. According to the Department of Human Services, families will lose an estimated $180 a month in benefits.
When we return, an update on the derailment in Ohio.
Hi, I'm Rob Disman, and I'm the owner of your local Domino's Slippery Rock. I started out with Domino's as a delivery driver when I was in college. Ended up really liking the job. Worked my way up through management to the supervisor. I did that for about 10 years. My family, we decided that we couldn't really go any further with that, so we decided to go ahead and become a franchisee with Domino's. I'm lucky enough to have enough community support that most customers have become more than just customers, they're more like friends. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this community for 20 years, and I look forward to many more years.
Welcome back.
More information about the mass shooting at Michigan State University on Monday night is surfacing, but police have yet to uncover a motive behind the devastating attack that left 3 students dead. The victims of the shooting have been identified as Ariel Anderson, Alexandria Werner, and Brian Frazier. 5 other students are recovering in critical condition at Sparrow Hospital. Family and friends of the 5 students held a vigil yesterday afternoon, praying that their loved ones recover after their run-in with the shooter. 43-year-old Anthony Dwayne McRae has been identified as the shooter. McRae was found by police dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound hours after the shooting. According to officials, McRae had no connection or tie to the university or students. Police are still investigating a motive. According to Gun Violence Archive, this marks the 67th mass shooting this year. Several reports have pointed out that there have been more mass shootings than days in 2023.
This is very sad, Brandon. I've had a lot. My two friends who from high school go to Michigan State, and they were friends with Brian Fraser. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very upsetting to hear this news.
Yeah, especially since it took place 5 years after the Parkland tragedy. Mm-hmm. Very, very sad. Well, we send our thoughts and prayers to the loved ones of the 3 students who died. Over the course of the last week, 3 unidentified objects were shot down by the United States Air Force. One of the objects was described as cylindrical in shape and the size of a car. It was shot down in Canadian airspace. Another object, shot down over Lake Huron in Michigan, was observed to be octagonal in shape. Many took to social media to theorize that the unidentified objects were all of alien origin. During a press conference on Monday, General Glenn Van Herk, who is the head of NORAD and the U.S. Northern Command, was asked whether or not the objects were extraterrestrial. The general's response continued to fan the conspiracy theorists' flames. He stated he wasn't taking anything off the table. On Monday afternoon, White House officials walked those comments back, telling reporters that the American people have no reason to fear alien contact. These 3 objects were downed nearly a week after the United States shot down a Chinese spy balloon off the East Coast, which we covered in the last episode. At this time, the balloon shot down nearly a week and a half ago is the only object that is confirmed to be of Chinese origin.
It has been a week since a train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio. On Monday, authorities told residents that they were finally safe to return to their homes within the area. However, in the weeks since the accidents, residents are beginning to worry. Over the weekend, dead fish were found in the surrounding creeks, sparking fear about the levels of toxic chemicals that spilled into the water. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources say that nearly 4,000 fish have died as a result of the chemicals spilled due to the derailment. There have been several other reports of area residents experiencing symptoms, such as red and irritated eyes and coughing. One resident awoke to find her chickens had all died overnight. The Environmental Protection Agency released a statement indicating they'd carried out, quote, robust air quality testing and determined that current levels show no sign of danger. As the 2024 election looms, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump prepare for a possible rematch. But for some Americans, neither candidate may be their first choice. According to a January poll from the Washington Post and ABC News, 62% of Americans believe that President Biden has accomplished little or nothing during his first term. 36% of Americans polled believed he's accomplished a great deal. Similarly, in a September 2022 PBS NewsHour poll, results found that 61% of Americans did not want Donald Trump to run for president in 2024. While many Republicans have moved away from the idea that the 2020 election was stolen, the same cannot be said for Donald Trump. This point is making it difficult for some Republicans to stand behind him. During President Biden's State of the Union speech, he reminded American voters that many of his accomplishments are through bills signed into law, which are just starting to take effect. The State of the Union highlighted the sharp divide between the 2 major parties. In the Washington Post ABC poll, respondents were asked if they had confidence in the Democrats and Republicans in Congress. 70% answered they had some confidence, or none at all, in Democrats. 72% answered the same for Republicans.
Republicans might have another choice, however, as former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is the first major GOP rival to contest Trump for the Oval Office. Governor Haley made the announcement on Tuesday via a 3.5-minute video. The video voices her intent to start a new path, changing directions from that of the Trump administration. She stated that she wants to see the rise of a new generation. Governor Haley may be the sole major Republican opponent for Trump in the 2024 race. No other possible rivals have officially announced their intent to run. This announcement contradicts her 2021 statement that she would not run should Trump decide to seek re-election. 51-year-old Haley operated under the Trump administration as a UN ambassador until she left the position in 2018. The former governor has supported the former president on a number of administrative decisions since leaving the ambassadorship. She also publicly opposed Donald Trump's impeachment for his actions related to the January 6th riot. Since this campaign announcement, Trump's fundraising group, Make America Great Again Incorporated, made a statement against former Governor Haley. They claim that she left the United Nations ambassadorship to be a self-committed career politician. Coming up, we'll be sitting and talking with Garrett Jones, a manager of the local Slippery Rock Domino's.
Hi, I'm Rob Disman, and I'm the owner of your local Domino's Slippery Rock. I started out with Domino's as a delivery driver when I was in college. Ended up really liking the job. Worked my way up through management to the supervisor. I did that for about 10 years. My family, we decided that we couldn't really go any further with that, so we decided to go ahead and become a franchisee with Domino's. I'm lucky enough to have enough community support that most customers have become more than just customers, they're more like friends. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this community for 20 years, and I look forward to many more years.
Welcome back. I'm here with Garrett Jones of Domino's Slippery Rock, and he's here to tell us a little bit about his job and Domino's Slippery Rock in general. So, Garrett, tell me a little bit about your position at what you do at Domino's.
At the moment, I'm a shift manager for Domino's. I started off as a driver like most people there, but eventually they said, hey, you want to just run the joint? And I couldn't say no.
Yeah, when did you start driving for Slippery Rock?
Yeah, about 3.5 to 4 years ago. And I transitioned to managing fully about 2 ago.
Yeah, that must have been some transition there. How's that been once you started to be a manager like that?
Well, the transition was pretty simple. We're a really close team, so everyone's already kind of got their hands in everything. So it's really just a matter of turning that informal help into, okay, now this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine that. So what is your favorite part of working at Domino's?
My favorite part is just how varied it is. It's just a constant stream of characters coming through those doors or calling in, and everybody is just so relaxed. Like, fundamentally, like, the driver position is a very relaxed position. Of course, everyone there takes it seriously, but it's very relaxed.
I understand that Domino's Slippery Rock is very connected with the university. So how does they sort of work in unison, Domino's providing for Slippery Rock University?
So Domino's tries to be involved in as much of the university as possible, and on the base level that just means providing food for club meetings. But we also try to be more materially involved in sports teams and clubs, trying to give them the support they need, because fundamentally, as a community business, we rely on the trust that our community puts in us. So everything that we can do in order to build that trust in small but meaningful ways through involving ourselves with various organizations on campus is a direct benefit both to us and to the people we're feeding out there.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine. I know Domino's is always my go-to when I'm trying to organize any big club event like that. And it's because it's very cheap, right? So
Mm-hmm.
as I understand it, you guys really haven't increased your price over the last couple of years.
Not at all. And that's definitely raised some stresses in various ways. But like I said, people know what to expect with us, and keeping that expectation consistent is one of the biggest reasons for keeping prices steady. it's definitely not easy when everything's like 10% more expensive every week, it seems. But we are doing our best to keep things as consistent as possible, because that consistency is what people keep trusting us to be.
Yeah, that's one thing I can definitely say is I always know what I'm getting when I order from Domino's.
Mm-hmm.
So I also understand that this Domino's Slippery Rock is a family-owned as opposed to a franchise Domino's. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and the values held there?
So when people say that like a place is locally owned and operated, they don't really elaborate on what that really means. And what it is like we have the big expensive corporate sign out front, but every single other thing we have, when you drill down to it, is built off of that trust that we have built with our customers, with our community. So even beyond the university, we're involved with youth sports teams, we're involved with donating food to the food pantry. It's all of these little things. Like, we don't even necessarily have a marketing budget per se. All the money that would go to that is just going out to the community and saying, hey, like, we are part of you. Everyone here, from the guy running the place to the driver that just started last week, are people who live and have their lives here in Slippery Rock. And I think that's the most important thing to keep in mind as we run our operation.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying there. And it just seems like everybody I've met from Domino's is very friendly at this location.
Oh, absolutely.
All the drivers are more than willing to say hello to you if you know them. And it's nice being able to see people you actually know deliver your food like that. Mm-hmm. And how many student workers do you have working at Domino's?
It's very consistently a 50-50 split. So at the moment, I'd say we have about eight students and 8 locals, and that is always a really good balance. We have new students coming in, new students leaving, and we have always a consistent worker base during the summer and winter when town empties out a little bit. But we also just have a fresh flow of new faces. Every time a new semester starts, we have people coming in wanting to see how they can make a few extra dollars to keep themselves going.
Yeah, for sure. And I got one last question for you. So what is the future for delivery at the Slippery Rock University for Domino's?
Well, I think a big thing that we've definitely started going into in the past couple years is bike delivery. A big thing with Slippery Rock, yeah, it's so rural, but it's also incredibly dense. We have an 8,000 student college all within biking distance of our store. And the thing we've noticed with our bike deliveries is they can get it done twice as fast as someone in a car waiting at the light at Main Street, at Cooper, at Keister, versus a biker just shooting across a sidewalk. So I think that's something we're definitely looking into in the future, because again, we're all trapped in this 1 mile radius together here, and I think that is definitely a strength that we can be building on.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying, especially with the bikes. It's much more cost efficient and customers are getting their food quicker. Mm-hmm. It definitely seemed like a win-win for just about everybody there.
Yep. Well,
that's all the time we have. Thank you, Garrett, for joining us today. And if you're in the area, make sure to try out Domino's Slippery Rock. Stay tuned for after the commercial for more interesting news. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rob Disman, and I'm the owner of your local Domino's Slippery Rock. I started out with Domino's as a delivery driver when I was in college. Ended up really liking the job. Worked my way up through management to the supervisor. I did that for about 10 years. My family, we decided that we couldn't really go any further with that, so we decided to go ahead and become a franchisee with Domino's. I'm lucky enough to have enough community support that most customers have become more than just customers, they're more like friends. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this community for 20 years, and I look forward to many more years.
Hi, I'm Tyler Howe.
I'm Aiden Troy.
And I'm Eddie Clancy.
And this is your weekly SRU Sports Update.
Women's basketball swept the PSAC Weekly Awards as Isabella Middleton was named the PSAC West Athlete of the Week and Delia Gibson was named the Defensive Player of the Week. They won 2 of their 3 contests and improved to 14-11 as they continue to fight for a playoff spot.
The Rock football team welcomed their newest recruiting class last week. They added 24 new players to the team as they prepare for spring practices. The spring football game is set to take place on April 21st.
The men's basketball team officially punched their ticket to the PSAC tournament on Saturday in a 68-66 thriller on the road against Edinburgh. Amonte Britt will return to the playoffs for the fourth time, but he is still looking for his first win. They still have 3 games left before the playoffs, and this Saturday's matchup against number 4 Indiana PA will get them warmed up. Spring sports are also getting ready to start their seasons as the semester continues to move along. Baseball, softball, track and field, tennis, and women's lacrosse will all enter into play in less than a month.
That's all for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Rob Disman, and I'm the owner of your local Domino Slippery Rock. I started out with Domino's as a delivery driver when I was in college. Ended up really liking the job. Worked my way up through management to the supervisor. I did that for about 10 years. My family, we decided that we couldn't really go any further with that, so we decided to go ahead and become a franchisee with Domino's. I'm lucky enough to have enough community support that most customers have become more than just customers, they're more like friends. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this community for 20 years, and I look forward to many more years.
Welcome back. The Happy Bus app has changed. The Happy Bus has changed its app. They are no longer using NextBus and have started using Busware. While using the app, students are able to scroll through different routes that are offered throughout the day. If you use the Happy Bus frequently and would like to keep up with its location on campus, make sure to download the new app Busware.
The Office of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging is continuing its Power of Stories series this month. This month's session will highlight the importance of seeking mental health services. Come see speaker Bertha L. White, who is a licensed certified social worker, clinical trauma professional therapist, and dialectical behavioral therapy professional. This event takes place on Thursday, February 16th at 5 p.m. on Zoom. Students are able to access the link on the Office of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging core page.
Are you swamped this semester? Come join the University Program Board, Musical Theater Society, and Rock the Weekend at their Shrektacular event. Shrektacular will include bingo, inflatable jousting matches, snacks, and so much more. You can even come dressed as your favorite character from the movie and participate in the costume contest, which involves students strutting down the green carpet. There will also be a special performance from Musical Theater Society, who will be performing your favorite songs from Shrek the Musical. Shrektacular will take place on Friday, February 17th at 7:30 p.m. in the Smith Student Center Ballroom.
Soul and Rock the Weekend are hosting a semester fiesta, Cienfuegos. Join in on the fun and enjoy music from Gavas Beats, learn salsa dancing, eat some food, and so much more. Cienfuegos will take place on Saturday, February 17th at 5 p.m. in the Smith Student Center.
The Office of Student Engagement and Leadership is hosting their 2023 Leadership Conference. Come join keynote speaker Nissan Trotter and many more in learning how to watch your leadership grow. If you're interested in attending, please scan the QR code on the screen to RSVP to the event. There are limited spots available and all RSVPs are required by February 19th. The Leadership Conference will take place on March 1st at 4 p.m. in the Smith Student Center Ballroom. For more information, please visit the Office of Student Engagement and Leadership core page.
A group of organizations on campus are hosting Charlemagne the God as this year's Black History Month speaker. Come join Charlemagne the God, who will be having a moderated conversation with students, staff, and the general public on Wednesday, February 22nd at 7 p.m. in the Miller Theater. If you are interested in attending, you can purchase tickets for the event at sru.universitytickets.com.
Coming up, Chick-fil-A is coming to Grove City College.
Hi, I'm Rob Disman, and I'm the owner of your local Domino's Slippery Rock. I started out with Domino's as a delivery driver when I was in college. Ended up really liking the job. Worked my way up through management to the supervisor. I did that for about 10 years. My family, we decided that we couldn't really go any further with that, so we decided to go ahead and become a franchisee with Domino's. I'm lucky enough to have enough community support that most customers have become more than just customers, they're more like friends. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this community for 20 years, and I look forward to many more years.
Welcome back. Students at Grove City College may have a new meal option coming this fall. Chick-fil-A will open a permanent restaurant in the college's Gee-Dunk Grill. Paul J. McNulty, the president of Grove City College, expressed his gratitude to the restaurant chain for their consideration and expertise while working together to bring this plan to action. Grove City College has announced that when students return for the fall semester, Chick-fil-A will be a part of their meal plan. And hey, Chick-fil-A, if you're watching, we love your nuggets here at SRU too.
And that's all we have for you tonight, Slippery Rock. I'm Bex Preneta.
And I'm Brandon Pierce. Have a great evening, SRU.